Hello and welcome to another episode of Canva's World. I am Queen Canva and you're welcome to my world. This is a lifestyle, is the love and light aspect of Canva's World where I spread love and light discussing topics centered around mental health, self-development, growth, emotional intelligence, and all those stuff, all the good stuff in that space. That being said, if you're interested in things like this, please do well to hit the subscribe button because you're going to get more of things like this. And also check previous conversations and videos that I've made. That being said, this is 4 ways to protect yourself from being love bombed. First, before we start listing the 5 ways that you can protect yourself, let's first talk about love bombing. I spoke about it extensively in my last video. You can check that out, where I spoke about love bombing and how to even identify when you're being love bombed. But here we're going to talk about how to protect yourself from being love bombed and how to address that kind of situation. But first of all, love bomb is a form of manipulation where a person gives you an intense and excessive form of attention within a very short period of time that typically doesn't make sense. And they do this and it might come across as love and care, and it might give you the feeling of a whirlwind, so it's just a very intense form of connection within a very short period of time. It is a form of manipulation, and if you are not aware, you will fall for the act. And anything that is not built on a solid foundation will come crumbling. And that's just the truth. Love bombers are manipulators, and I don't even know if they know what they are doing, but they might have done it for so long. You just meet somebody, you love bomb them, you give them excessive gifts, compliments, conversations, like long hours of conversations, talk to them all day, every day, meaning you're texting with them throughout the day, and then they call you throughout the night, and then you guys are talking, and something that's supposed to take some days and weeks, it's like they compress it into a very short period of time. And I promised to tell a story of me being love bombed, so I'll just say it right now before I talk about the 4 ways to protect yourself from love bombers. I met somebody like a few months ago. I gave him my number because I was just like, whatever. It wasn't like I was super interested, to be fair, but I was just like, whatever. I was feeling generous that day. And then when I gave this dude my number, that it was sometime around 5 p.m. ish in the evening. From the moment I got home, this guy was texting me. Normal, it happens. You just meet somebody, they're excited, you guys are talking. I didn't think much of it. So he would text me throughout the night and was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to meet you. You do this, you fit this description, you do this and do that. The normal story, I didn't think much of it. I just found it entertaining, to be fair. I was just like, I'm bored. And this is somebody that's giving me attention. I didn't think much of it. I just thought it was normal. But it continued, and then the next day, he was really professing love. This was within the span of 12 hours, or not even 24. Between the first hour of getting my number and texting me to the 12th hour, this guy was really professing like and love, literally. I was just like, calm down. Like, just calm down. But at this point in time, I was just taking it as entertainment. I was laughing about it. I was just, I'll just see his message, I'll just laugh, and I wasn't taking it serious. And I was just, I was indulging him. I was responding. I wasn't saying I love him back, of course. I was just more like, really. And then he continued having conversation, telling me about himself, asking me questions about myself. And I responded to the questions I felt comfortable responding. So he was just telling me a lot about himself, what he does, blah blah blah. Cool, cool, cool. Then the night of the next day, which will be around 24 hours, this person now tells me, will you be my girlfriend? 24 hours of meeting this man, this young man, he already asked me to be in a relationship with him. Now, in my mind, I'm like, this person must not be serious. Like, you can't be serious. You must be playing. And then the psychologist in me just came up because, like, okay, let me ask him. So I was talking to him on the phone and I asked him, have you ever tried this before? Like, meet somebody on that 24 hours? Because now I was trying to study where his confidence was coming from. So I was just asking, like, have you met somebody before and in 24 hours you ask the person to be in a relationship? Have you ever done it before? Or is it just me? And he was like, no, 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 his last relationship, within 3 days they were dating and it lasted. First and foremost, I think that's a lie. I think men will tell you anything, not even men, people will tell you, people like that, people who can meet you on under 24 hours already asking for some sort of commitment, some sort of commitment. Number one, I don't think that commitment is a real commitment. It is as serious as the time and effort put into it, which is none. That kind of person can lie. The person who does not respect himself enough to even choose wisely. You don't know who I am. You don't know if I have, like, so you don't even value yourself, first and foremost, to even vet the people you're asking out. And you definitely cannot value me. Because if you don't, you're not coming with any form of value as far as I'm concerned. You're just looking for a good time. You're looking for another number to the list that already exists, in my opinion. I may be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think that this person had anything good to offer me. I don't think the person even takes relationships seriously. Because if you take relationships seriously and you take yourself seriously, that's not something you jump into with somebody you just met and you barely know anything about. So I asked him, I was like, okay, don't you think that when you just meet a person, you should take some time to, be friends of some sort? And I know that being friends before dating, a lot of people don't like it because it sounds like a zoning. But help me out here. How do you just meet somebody and just start dating them immediately? Like, I don't understand. I really don't. Like, even though we might not, like, you might declare your intentions like he did, like, oh, I like you, I want to date you, right? So I already know your intentions. So it's not like you never told me your intentions and you were just creeping around me in the guise of friendship, and then I see somebody else and dating. Like, you can declare your intentions to me, I know, but because we just met and I need to get to know you, I need to have more conversations with you, I need to maybe hang out with you and know who you're like and know if you're the kind of person that I want to spend more time with and even share myself with enough to even be in a relationship with you. That's how I see it though. I don't understand. And this is not the first person that has put pressure on me to date. But this I think this one is more of the love bombing thing. But so this one was just too short. This is the shortest. And so when I asked him, he was like, hell no. He can never be friends with a girl. Because if he likes you, he's going to date you. And if he doesn't like you, he's only going to keep his male friends. And I said, but me, I do have friends that are male, and there's no wahala there. The guy asked me that. He said, if I give any of my male friends an opportunity to sleep with me, that they'll all take it. And I was like, okay. So the conversation was getting long. I already figured out who he was as a person, and it was nothing that I was overly excited to explore. There was nothing special about it, and there was nothing. I didn't see the value in even having that conversation. He was like, "Okay, do I need some time to think about it?" I'm like, "There's nothing to think about. There's literally nothing to think about. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing there. I just met you, and you've already shown your hand, and I don't like the cards that you play." So I was. It was a very respectful conversation because I appreciate somebody who is straightforward and who says what he wants. I don't have a problem with it, but come on, respect yourself enough to vet the person. I'm not even talking from my own from my own standpoint. I'm not talking from him. You just met me. You don't know who I am. So if you cannot even put that value on yourself, you definitely will not value me. And I put value on myself. So I was just like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you being who you are, saying what you want. But that's not how I operate. So we're not going to be friends, especially because you said you don't keep female friends. So we're definitely not going to be friends. And that's on that. And I was like, and we parted ways ever since, and I've never messaged him. He has never said hi back. So, and that's it. That person is done. I can't even remember his name anymore. So yeah, and that's just my experience. Now that being said, let's talk about 4 ways to deal with love bombing when you experience it. The first thing is to first acknowledge that love bombing exists and know what love bombing is. Love bombing is excessive, it's manipulative, but it doesn't mean that when you just meet somebody and you guys have a connection and you guys are conversing quite frequently, doesn't mean that this is a manipulator. You need to be able to tell the difference. Love bombing is a bit excessive and it feels too good to be true. And most times than not, when something feels too good to be true, it's because it's not true. So it's literally that simple. So know what love bombing is and tell the difference between love bombing and just somebody that you connect with and that you enjoy talking to, even though you just met. But it should never be too much. It should never be excessive, and it should never be something that begins to make you question, wait, is this too good to be true? Because it probably is. The second thing is know yourself. And the reason why I say know yourself is, and this goes even slightly beyond love bombing, but life in general. We have a lot of manipulative people. Some people have been manipulative for so long, I don't even think they are consciously trying to manipulate you. That's just part of who they are right now. They just know what strings and what chords to strike. They know what keys to press. They just know how to manipulate people, and I have been manipulated before, and it has worked for them before. But it's just over time, I can now look back and say, oh, that was what that was. Got it. But I didn't know in that moment. So you need to know yourself. You need to know your insecurities. You need to know your triggers. You need to know your fears, because those are some of the things that manipulators can sense and can smell, and those are the things they use to pull emotional strings, to pull your emotional strength. So know yourself so that before somebody even tries to trigger an emotional thing inside of you, you already know this is a trigger. So when people are already attempting to come close to that touchy subject or that place, if you have daddy issues, you should be able to admit to yourself, like, "Okay, I have daddy issues." So that when you see somebody trying to come with that daddy figure vibe, you need to catch yourself, because you know that, okay, I already have this problem. So I need to be careful because of this energy this person is bringing. um, Look at your past relationships, and there's always a pattern. Robin Gray says there's always a pattern in your behavior, there's always a pattern in the people that you have dated. And just look at them, look at what they have in common, especially your failed relationship. So look at what they have in common and ask yourself, what about these people attracted me to them? Because sometimes some of the things that we're attracted to are embedded in our childhood traumas. There are certain things that we have not healed from and that we lack. And when we see people that exude that energy, whether it's toxic, we are drawn to it. That's the truth. Let me find an example to make it be clear. If you are somebody who is quite needy because you never really got a lot of validation as a child, and you have and your type of attachment style. That's another thing. You need to know your attachment style. So if you are an anxious attachment style kind of person, which is not healthy, anxious is not a healthy attachment style. Avoidant is not also a healthy attachment style. A healthy attachment style lies somewhere in the middle, but it's just good to know your problems. So if you're an anxious attachment style, it means that when you connect, it means that you're attracted to an avoidant. Anxious means you are the one that gravitates towards the other person more. And avoidance is somebody that once they kind of start to feel a connection, they tend to push it away. So you that has an anxious attachment style, sometimes you get attracted to people who are avoidant, who kind of try to push you away, who maybe treat you bad sometimes. So you need to know these things. And in knowing it and working towards your healing, once you catch yourself getting attracted to that toxic energy and finding yourself in that circle, you already know what it is. So you can call yourself back to order, but you have to know yourself. Which reminds me, I need to talk about the types of attachment style. I'll probably do that in my next videos, but you need to know your traumas, you need to know your flaws, you need to know your you need to know where you fall short so that people don't play that against you. Once you know yourself and you know that, okay, this is my problem, People cannot use that to blackmail you anymore or manipulate you. So that is really, really important. The third thing is to set boundaries. One of the things that boundaries help to achieve is boundaries help you define where you start and where other people end in your life. Because when you have weak boundaries and you have a low sense of self, you kind of mix it all up. You mix it all up, you don't know where other people end and where you start. And that's really important. You cannot just mix it all up. And I'm saying this from experience. For the longest time, I wasn't able to clearly define where other people end and where blessing starts. And I was just always invested in the business of other people and rarely ever invested in the business of me. And it took a lot of for me to finally say, calm down. How are you? I'm always asking everybody else, how are you? How are you? But it took me a long time. It took me to take some deep, heavy blows for me to slow down and even say, wait, I'm always trying to figure out how to be for everybody else, but I haven't figured out me. And this is something that has been existing for a long time. I remember celebrating my birthday one time. I think that was 300 level. Yeah, it was 300 level. So, and this whole party thing where you organize a birthday party and then you call your friends together and then you guys discuss, oh, tell me about blessing. And one of the things that my friend Winifred said to me was, I need to learn a little bit of selfishness. I am selfless to my own detriment. And it doesn't mean that I am one innocent human being that doesn't do it, but I truly, truly carry people's matter on my head sometimes to my own detriment. And I barely focus on myself. And unfortunately, even though I understood, I heard her, but it took, like, I'm still learning to define where I exist and where other people end. But at least I'm more aware now. At least I'm more conscious. I am a bit more selfish these days. I'm a bit more self-preservant today than I was a few months ago. Like I have been. I'm a bit more willing to let people go because before I didn't want to let anybody go. No matter, I always try to last figure it out. But recently, I've been letting folks go. Like the Bible says, Pharaoh, let my people go. I don't want to be like Pharaoh. When the Israelites want to go, that's rich. They've tried for years. They've been in Egypt working. You guys have tried. You want to go, be going. You cannot be Pharaoh and be holding people that want to go, captive because like what happened in the Bible, you'll be receiving plagues. You'll be punished for not letting people go that want to go, that don't want to be in your life or that do not have room in your life. Don't let them go when the signs are there for you to let them go. You will pay for it the way Pharaoh did. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm quoting Bible these days. I've grown. So yes, set boundaries. And then the last part is letting go. When you finally set boundaries and people begin to cross your boundaries, let them go. Pharaoh, let my people go, man. Just let them go. Let them go. Let them be free. And let yourself go too. Walk away from situations that do not favor you. And when people act a fool, let them go too. Just let people go. Once they've crossed your boundaries that you have set for yourself, let them go. Now, it is important to kind of communicate your boundaries. It is important. And that's something I need to work on. I don't think that I communicate my boundaries very well. I need to work on that. But yeah, let them go. So I hope that this video was entertaining and, I hope that it was educative and I hope you picked something out of it. If there's anything that you want us to talk about or you want me to talk about, let me know. And yeah, maybe one of these days when I finally have enough subscribers and followers, maybe we'll do some live sessions and discuss some of these things. I'm putting it out there to the universe, live sessions. But I do need to have people on the live sessions. But I'm putting it out there. Very soon, when my subscribers increase, we'll do live discussions and we'll talk about these things and we'll share our experiences. But I hope you heal. I hope you grow. And I'm sending you love and light. Bye.